Kind of talk about something that is on my mind a lot. Okay, and that is my lost weight. Everybody that knows me knows that I've always been petite. I was born little, and I pretty much stayed little my whole life. So I've always been small. But when I started my health journey, I lost even more weight. I eliminated meats, carbohydrates, refined sugars, processed foods, all those types of things from my diet, and so it caused me to lose even more weight. And people are starting to notice. I was already noticing. People are starting to notice. I knew that they would. I knew that you would. It's fine, but I'm getting some concerns, and I understand that, for one, because that's kind of like, especially in my culture, it's just not what it is to be skinny like me. So I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to just give you some background and talk about what and why I started this health journey to healing. And I mean, why I chose to do the things that I did in terms of changing my lifestyle and my diet. I have been experiencing a lot of health-related issues over the past maybe 3 years, maybe since 2014, and it probably started even before, but I started to notice in 2014, and it included severe fatigue. That was the number one symptom that I have had for probably 4+ years. Severe fatigue. Like, I would tell people that my main condition, or just walking around, I always felt tired. That was like my default state, is to feel tired, to feel like I hadn't gotten enough rest. Even if I gotten 8-12 hours of sleep, I was always tired, and I got to the point where I learned to function being that tired. But 2014 to 2015, I started to look for help with that through caffeine, coffee, things like that, because it was affecting my work. I was at work, and I was having to go outside and take naps, and even then I was forcing myself to stay awake and my eyes to stay open as I worked, and that was not cool. So I started drinking coffee. That helped until it got to the point where I was drinking 4 to 5 cups a day, and that's not me. Anybody knows me, I do not like doing anything in excess. I've always been that way. So that was one thing, the severe fatigue. I also had brain fog, which means that I had a hard time concentrating at times, figuring out what I wanted to say, what I was supposed to be doing. That has never been me. So I was like, what is going on here? And then I also had severe pains about 2 to 3 weeks out of the month, as it pertained to my womanly cycle. Sorry guys if that's TMI, but I'm just being honest. I would have back pains. I would have, my cramps were horrible, to the point where it was getting to the point where I needed to take off work at least 1 to 1.5 days just to make it through. I would be in so much pain that I almost wanted to cry. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to talk, which of course led to emotional issues because I was always uncomfortable and in pain. And then also I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. It's this little gland that resides here, that regulates your hormones and things like that throughout your body, tells your body when your metabolism should be kicking in, tells your body how much of what chemical or hormone needs to go in, when that needs up, and you'll find out what the thyroid is all about. So I also had digestive issues where I wouldn't have bowel movements for a couple of days, and I would bloat and have gas, things of that sort, and that wasn't cool. Also, in 2000, I believe it was 2014, I had an incident where I was at a conference, and in the bathroom, I fainted. I just completely fell out. I have never fainted in my life prior to this incident, but I fainted, and that was scary. I have never fainted ever, and when it took me a long time to come to. And then when the ambulance was called and I was sent to the hospital, and they couldn't figure out what it was. So then that's when I went back to the doctor, several trips to the doctor, and they found out about my thyroid issue. And then also through some research of my own, I've also found out about these other conditions concerned with my monthly cycle, my constant fatigue, and also an addiction to sugar. That's a whole nother thing for a whole nother video. I won't get into that. But there's the background to why I decided to go on this journey. And it has been I just started really. I'm still new to this journey, but it's been a long one so far. But it's very empowering. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm learning a whole lot, and I can't go back. So the second point I wanted to talk about, now that you know why I've gone on this journey, is that maybe I should talk to my people. I'd say that in saying that my culture, black people, we tend to be very highly focused on, let me correct myself, Americans in general. I don't know about other countries because I'm not as familiar with their culture and lifestyle, but Americans tend to be very hyper-focused on weight in terms of indicators of health. In different cultures, see it different ways. I just mentioned earlier that, in my culture, in the black community, it's considered unhealthy and just not cool to be skinny. And then in other cultures, it's not cool to have on a bunch of weight. And we have used that as a marker, as a physical marker, to determine whether someone is healthy or not. And we know logically that doesn't make sense and it's not true, but we still kind of hold those traditions and those ways of thinking just because that's what happens. Is you're used to seeing things a certain way, and you just go with it. So that's one thing I just want to put out there, is that we do tend to focus heavily on a person's physical appearance in terms of if they are healthy. The question, though, should be how they feel, what's going on in their bodies, and are they getting the nutrients and the things that they need to live a very quality lifestyle. I'll get to that here in a minute. So, to answer the questions that I have gotten, and maybe some that haven't asked, yes, I have lost weight. I've lost about 5 pounds. That doesn't sound like a lot, except that I didn't weigh a lot to begin with. So, yes, I've lost weight. And I will admit that at first it was a little bit of a sensitive issue because I actually was trying to gain weight prior to going on this journey. Probably for some of the reasons I just mentioned, because in my culture it's just not cool to be skinny. So that's a whole nother issue of embracing who you are, the body that God has given you, and knowing that everyone's different. We're all different. We're all given different genetic makeups, and our bodies respond differently to our environments and the foods that we eat. So I'm at a place of embracing that, and actually this experience helped me realize that I even had an issue with that. I didn't even know that I had an issue with believing that I needed to be something that I'm not. So, very, very thankful for that. The last thing I want to do is answer a question that has not been asked very often, and that is, what have I gained from this? I've lost weight, yes, but what have I gained? I have gained so much vitality. I have so much energy now, and keep in mind, I have completely gone off of coffee. I do not drink coffee. The only thing I drink is tea, usually decaffeinated, and water. That's the only thing I drink. And I have so much energy. I no longer feel fatigued. I'm able to get through my days without a nap. I don't know how long it's been since I've taken a nap. I don't think about sleep like I used to. I used to wake up thinking, okay, I have this many hours and then I can go back to sleep. That is sad. That is really, really sad. That's how bad it was. I used to wake up contemplating and thinking and worried about when the next time would be that I would be able to go to sleep. That's how bad the fatigue was. Gone. I feel great. Actually, I went out with some friends, hung out with some friends last night, and surprised myself. We were dancing and laughing and things like that, and I love to dance, if you guys haven't noticed from previous posts. But I danced for hours straight, just up. And even after that experience, I still had a lot of energy and kind of had to wind myself down at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was just like, I had so much energy. So I have a lot of energy. Also, I have gained, strength. In doing this, I've always been an athletic person, but as you guys know, I have discovered for myself yoga. Love it. And I've also had issues with my upper body. I've always considered that to be my weakest link. No longer the issue, because I have been able to harness the energy that I have received through this process into my practice as it pertains to my fitness. On top of that, I've gained spiritual and emotional stability. This journey has guided me and led me to practices, but not only that, a lifestyle of quieting my mind, accepting myself, and really searching within for the answers that I seek. And I am a living testimony that when you seek, you find. When you truly go within, do some searching, commune with the Spirit, and invite Him in, He will converse with you. He will answer your questions. He will guide you. And it's been that way this whole time, but especially since I've started this journey. So my spiritual and emotional stability has completely calmed. Also, because of the PMS issue that I was having, that is no longer an issue in terms of the emotional component. So I'm also emotionally more stable. Also, now that we're talking about the PMS thing, I no longer have severe pains. They are very, very, very minimal. And actually, every month I'm noticing that they're getting less and less, to the point where I can go throughout my day for the most part and I feel pretty good. So I'm going from 3 weeks out of the month consumed with PMS related issues to maybe a day of pain the first day of my cycle. And that pain is not debilitating anymore. So I believe that I'm actually on my way to dealing with it in such a way that I won't experience pain to that level. But who knows? I'm still on the journey. We'll see what happens. And then also, just realizing that this whole journey is about more than my weight. And I say that in response to questions, but also I say that in speaking to myself, to my spirit, and to my mind, at the same time, realizing that your health goals, your fitness goals, where you see yourself health-wise is about more than your weight. So I really, really hope that for the rest of you who are on these health journeys, who are seeking to improve your lifestyle, that you don't get stuck with this mind state of how your body looks. Guaranteed, your body will fall in line and you will be pleased with the results, whatever they are, if you focus on the spiritual and the emotional and the physical aspects in terms of how you feel. Let your body tell you if and when something is wrong. And it does, and it will. It's just a matter of fact of, are we listening and are we willing to respond and give it what it needs? So let your body tell you if you're healthy or not. Do you have pains? Are you consumed in a particular issue that's been there? And is it so much a part of your life that you've just gotten used to it? Are you able to get through your day? Are you dependent on substances to keep you awake? Are you sleeping okay? Are there physical ailments throughout your body? All these things are indicators. How is your digestive system? How's your water intake? All these things. There are several more, but that wasn't the point of this particular video. Ultimately, I just wanted to address the weight issue. It's time for us to get over that. Everybody's different. We're all beautiful. We're all made in the image and likeness of the Creator. And He is diverse. He likes diversity. He likes to see His children in all different shapes and sizes and colors and, tones of voice and hairstyles and things like that. I mean, He just loves it. He's an artist. He is your Creator. So embrace it and realize that your journey is more about how you feel and the quality of your life than it is about how you look. I hope that's been helpful. It was sure helpful to me as I was meditating about it. And with that, I just say, be free.